I want you guys to do a task for me. This is for you. I did this when I was young. I read this in a book. I wrote everything I wanted to achieve. I even had diagrams of my companies and what I want this company, BOE to stand, best of everything. And I wanted my publishing house and my record label, which I just started moving into. And I wanted my clothing line, and I had all these ideas. And my ex-girlfriend was like, whoa, it's a lot of ideas. That's why she's my ex. It's a lot of ideas, man. Like, and I had it all written out. And do you know, when I moved into this new house, I was going through stuff and throwing stuff out. It's like, yeah, I don't need this. See this book? I'm like, 2004. I open this book up, and I'm reading through it, and I literally fall on my knees. Because I literally realized that everything I'd written down, I pretty much done. From beginning to end. Everything I'd written when I was in my gifting, figuring it out, trying to understand this gift, finally it come to pass. I want you guys to do that. I want you guys to write your plan. Make sure you put God in it too. Don't just write a plan. Well, I want to have 5 cars and I want to know. Really think about your plan. What is it you want your company or your vision or your dream to be? Write it out. Write 5 years, write 10 years. Write the most stupidest thing you can think of how big you want it to be. It's gotta, if it's not stupidly big, it's pointless. Because you're going to meet somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? So the bigger you make it, at least if you don't hit the big one, you're going to meet it close. I want you to write it. And I want you to pray over it every day. And every month, go back. Every time you feel like you're lagging or you're slowing up, go back and check the vision. You know what the checking of the vision does? It aligns you. Oh man, I'm off track. I said I was going to do this, this, and this. I'm off track. I'm completely off track. You get back in and you find your rhythm and you just stay in the rhythm. See, it's a marathon. It's not a 100-meter dash. Until we leave this world, it don't end. You understand what I'm saying? We don't know when life's going to end. So you have an opportunity right now. When you leave here, you have an opportunity. When you tomorrow wake up, you have an opportunity. Monday morning, you have an opportunity. Wednesday, you have an opportunity. The moment you open your eyes, you have an opportunity. And the more focus you get on that opportunity, the more that vision will come to pass. And yes, life will throw curveballs and throw you off and change the way you feel. Go back to that book. That book's going to go click. Yes, you might meet people who might change your life. You might get married. You might have a child. You might do anything. Go back to that book. It's going to go click. And you know what? Everything around it will adjust with you. I had parents who hated me doing music. Fought me. Man, they used to beat the life out of me because I was in love with music. And now, 15 years later, he's in my house telling me, I love this song, when you did this song, and I'm like, oh, you used to choke me to death because I was in the music industry. Now, you my best friend. I love you too, Pop. And that's all I wanted to say today. I really hope this changed and helped and made things clearer. I get it. It can get real fuzzy sometimes, especially when life gets hard, especially when you hear all these traumatic experiences happen. You're just like, well, what am I doing? But you guys can make that difference. Everybody in this room can make that difference. You don't understand that the world is waiting for you right now. I never understood that. The world is waiting for you right now.
It does start with the mind. Funny, I was thinking about the workshop yesterday and thinking about you guys, and I was like, okay, God, you know, give me some other things to say. And so he says, look up. So I look up, and there are these birds, and they're flying in this really interesting pattern. And I was like, well, why are they doing that? So if I could get Gabby to come up here for me, please. Give a round of applause for Gabby, my assistant. for this quick second in demonstration that I want to show you what God revealed to me. So as I was looking up and I saw the birds and they were flying in this circular pattern. So Gabby is going to be you in the sense of when you're getting you in the future, or you in getting the instructions to move forward in what you're supposed to do, what you want to do, what you're called to do, what you're passionate about. And let's just say that the couch right there is that thing. So this is where you are now, and this is that thing that you want to get to, okay? So ideally, if you can just walk slowly to that. Just like, you know, yeah, like that. Okay, so stop right here. When I say go, you're gonna go. So what I saw was this is ideally what you want. So follow me with this. I'm gonna be the birds. What I saw. This is what I saw when I was looking up. Go ahead, Gabby. They were doing this, and then they would move forward a little bit more, but then they would go back, and they would do this circle. And I was like, why are they doing that? That doesn't make any sense. Didn't they just go straight? If that's where they're trying to go, they should just go straight. It doesn't make any sense. Why are they coming back to where they were, making a circle? It's taking a long time for them to get there. I just don't understand. And as I'm saying that, he says, that's it. And I say, oh my gosh. That is sometimes where we are. Thank you, Gabby, for that. That's what ends up happening when we have this double mindset of, I know where God wants me to go, but then I have this job that's paying my bills, so I have to stay here. Okay, but I'm going to go and I'm going to go to this event, but I'm not going to really interact with people because I'm not sure if this is what I need to do. Okay, but I'm going to meet these new people, but I like the people that I have right now. They're comfortable, and so I'm going to keep working with them. I'm going to keep interacting with them. So we slow down our process of getting to where we started to where we need to be. That makes sense? Yeah. Okay. So what I want us to be able to get to is to be where Gabby was, where we pace ourselves, and we trust the process. And we keep going forward, and we don't circle back to where it's comfortable. And we don't rely on that job, even though it is paying our bills. But if that's not where you're supposed to be, then that's not where you're supposed to be. So I want whoever is willing, I want you to stand up. I want you to give me your name. Yes, we get a mic. I want you to give me your name. I want you to state a give that you have to any and everybody in this room. And what do you need? So your name, what can you give, and what do you need? Really quickly. Okay?
My name is Lacey. My give is helping people who write but can't sing and need a voice to get their songs out there as a session singer. And my need is because I don't play, I write, is to have someone to put music to what I write, to help people to hear my voice and the content that I bring.
My name is Milo. I have an incredible network of investors and venture capitalists and just people in wonderful positions. And that's my give. What do I need is branding guidance.
Gotcha. Yes, put it out there. Absolutely.
And that's part of the reason I'm here. And I'm excited to learn what Vincent has to say. And I've heard nothing but great things about him.
I'm Laquisha. My give is my creativity. And my need is kind of what she said, people to actually design for or purchase the things that I make.
Okay. What kind of things do you make?
I made this hat.
Okay. So
I
apparel.
crochet earrings and stuff like that.
Okay. Thank you. So, as it relates to the mindset, before I get into the next piece, as it still relates to the mindset, in order for us to really get to that place that we know God has told us to get to, or that we're passionate about, or that dream of ours that we have to really see that thing. We have to visualize it, paint it in our minds, and be so clear on that thing that there's no shadow of a doubt that that is where we are supposed to go.
Timing, right? So now we're going to talk about that. When you've heard till you're blue in the face this time, it's never really the right time to do anything, because if you wait for the quote-unquote right time, technically speaking, it'll never be the right time. The right time is when God says, or you, to move, to go, that the time is now. The time is when you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, when you are beyond fed up, or when you just know without a shadow of a doubt that something in you is getting ready to be birthed, like the time is now. So the timing of it is you cannot wait until you hear some sort of confirmation. You have to know when to jump. And when is that? You just know. But some practical signs of that is like when everything is pointing in your direction, that it's time for you to move, you move. Prime example. There is such a thing when His grace, the Lord's grace, or His coverage is moved on from a place, right? Have you ever experienced favor? You have to pay attention to that. You have to tune into that frequency and know when it is to move, right? You know what I mean? I'm not talking about with the occasional hiccups here and there, but when that well dries up, there's a well, you go get water every day, and you go to that well and there's no more water there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're still like, man, I'm gonna just wait for it to rain again so the well can fill back up. No, the well has dried up. It's time to move on. So the timing of it, that's very important, is just being keen to your voice, being keen to your dream, being keen when you know like a situation is over. That's when you have to move. Because don't wait for a sign. Don't wait for this big lightning flash in the sky to say it's time to go, because at that point it'll be too late. Like, you have to understand and recognize when that timing comes, and that timing comes when you, honestly, to be honest, we all have intuition. We all have a note. We all have that. You have to pay attention to that. You have to listen to that. That thing that talks to you, whatever you want to identify it is. People, that little voice told me, or I just knew it, or I just felt. You know. And we have to pay attention to that. You have to tune into that frequency and know when it is to move. And you cannot be afraid. You cannot wait on a rationalization of a moment. Well, I just wait till I save up enough money and then I'll move. Timing. Timing is everything. Do not wait on anyone to do anything for you or give anything to you. And just pay attention. You know when that thing dries up. You know when His grace, His presence is no longer there. You know when He's moved on. You know it, and you all know it, because after something happens, you're like, man, I knew I should have done this, or I knew I should have done that. Timing is very important. So that's the first thing. And again, don't be afraid. Don't wait on rationalizing anything. What plagues us a lot as Christians is that, we have that factor. I'm gonna just trust on God factor. And that's a good factor to have, honestly. It really, truly is. A lot of times, because of that, we fail to implement practical steps and practices and solutions that we should. We don't have the steps. Even though, I don't know the scripture, so forgive me, but it says, the Lord says, write the vision and make it plain. Thank you. He even says to write a plan so you can execute the plan, right? The necessary steps it takes to execute and implement the things that I have given to you and put on your heart. So, implementation of that and launch. Once you get the timing down, start to implement those factors.
You talk about how long each of you have been living in your dream, in the purpose. Like when you started, how long, and kind of what that process was.
Alright. We're only going to do this for a little bit. So I would say 2 years. 2 years. I moved out here after I graduated in 2010 from Ohio University, and I think it took me about 2 years to really hone in on what it is that I was supposed to be doing out here, and to kind of devise a plan. There's just a lot of trial and error, especially when you're in production, because when you go to college, you get a wide variety of knowledge, and then you graduate, and then you come into the real world, and you realize there's so many avenues. Like me as an editor, and writer, director, it's like, oh, you could go the path to edit, on television and do the studio route and be a PA forever and then finally, work your way up to an assistant editor and do that. Or you could, go the film route, or you could just be a freelance artist. And I figured that, me and my business sense, I was better as a freelance artist to just keep continuing to create and build my clients and use word of mouth, which helped me a lot. I mean, word of mouth is like what, helped me as an editor. So I would say about 2 years. I've been living in what I would like to call my dream. I'm not living the full harvest of my dream yet, but I'm definitely living in it. So.
Can you talk about, because all of you are living in your purpose, can you talk about the different levels of the purpose? Because once you get there, Harmony spoke a little bit about it, how like what you think is not what it's really going to be. Like you get this end picture, God gives you Z, but the B through Y just is not at all what you had planned out. So can you discuss like the different levels?
Great. So there are different levels to one's success in their dream or purpose, right? The first one is being discovered or discovering your purpose. So that's one level, right? Then the second one is actually your established dream becoming a reality. So you've gone from being in your bedroom fantasizing about something that you believe in, then actually people knowing you for that same dream that you know what I mean? So you're actually acknowledged for it. The third level is actually becoming successful in it. Somehow, some way, which normally for producers or songwriters is a publishing deal or a contract of some sort. For an architect, maybe he got a first gig working for a small company, big firm. And then that level there is very challenging. See, the first two levels, everyone thinks are the worst levels ever. No. When you actually now have the opportunity to actually be successful in your life, that's hard. Because now you have to live up to all the expectations of what the first and second part is. Third, now there's no excuses. When you do the first and second part, the excuses until I make it. You got something to push you going. Now you actually have made some form of impact. It's like, oh my God, how do I live up to this? And a lot of people fall off from that point. Yeah. But let's say you get past that point. You've gotten that first deal, you got your first check, you've lived your first year, you've got your apartment, you've got a little whip, you got some new clothes. People say, oh, you're looking real good, my brother, how you doing? It's like, God is good, you know what I'm saying? And then there's the sustaining of it. The sustaining level part is you now have to excel from that point, which means you have to go to another level. And now you have to, because you're going to change somewhat. Your environment's going to change, your people's going to change, the way you do things is going to change. And you have to make the right decisions that don't affect you to go back to the first stage again.
Because you talk about sustaining, you guys hit the level, and we know that the panel is talking about sustaining and the difficulties in sustaining. Can you talk about the difficulties you're going through and that you have faced and how you overcame them in this process of sustaining?
I definitely want you to talk, but can I start on that one? Because I feel like I'm just now getting to the hallelujah of that one. All right, so here's the honest part about it. Like, when you're sustaining, there's very practical things that you need. Money, pay your bills, food, the discipline to not buy clothes when you need to eat, you know what I mean? The discipline to stay in when you want to go out. Why? Because you're on a budget, your dreams have a budget and all those type of things. So, or, practically, something that I did was, for me, what got me to just walk off my job, it was, I had a strategy, and I'm sure these people have spoken about it. So like, that part of it, I started gigging 3 or 4 times a week at different, believe it or not, restaurants, sushi bars, sports bars. I drive out an hour out to Oxnard, Ventura, which is far, for $100 for 3 hours of singing, spend 20 of that on gas, getting back, that kind of thing. But I was like, all right, I won't leave my job until I can make my gig into my gig income, even if it ain't my job income, is some kind of income where I can have a living and just be prepared. All right, we may not do caviar and steak tonight. We might do the dollar menu, or we might do leftovers. Well, ain't nothing wrong with leftovers. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that.
You are trying to move to the next level, then fronting about the level that you are in, you're not gonna get there. You're just not gonna get there.
You really need to clap. I'm serious.
You're not gonna get there because you're not even honest about that level. So how are you gonna get to the next level? Because you're not even sure about that level that you're on right now.
Wow.
So I would say, be transparent, be vulnerable. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but if that thing that you are so passionate about, that you were shooting for, if it means that much to you, then it's worth it.
My name is Ruth Lewis, I'm from Canada, and I wanted to testify to you about my experience at the Jumping from the Job to the Dream workshop and seminar today. It was phenomenal. I'm leaving with such a rich understanding of how to transition from life into dreaming, how to handle pressure, how to deal with distractions, roadblocks. I'm actually also leaving with a mission statement for my company, so I'm excited about that, and I was really encouraged to continue on with the vision and not to quit.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Davis. I'm from the Inland Empire. This workshop was just so amazing and so just well prepared. One thing I got from the workshop is just to maintain a steady focus on the goal, not to get distracted, or when distractions come, to make sure that I keep a steady focus on my plan, keep a game plan in front of me, and also most definitely support others that are chasing their dreams, because you never know how that sowing is going to come back into your life. So just an amazing time, such a blessing to be with other like-minded individuals who are reaching for their goals and reaching for their dreams. And I most definitely suggest for anybody that is chasing their dreams or looking for a way to just build their knowledge in this avenue of the entertainment business, to most definitely invest in something of this nature, because it really will bless your life. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Karen Jules, and I just finished the Jumping from Job to a Dream workshop, and I just have to say that it was a phenomenal workshop. The guest speakers were awesome. They provided so much information, and I get to go back home to Toronto, Canada, just filled with so much more knowledge, and I just feel so encouraged and inspired.
Hi, my name is Wei. I'm originally from New York, and what I got from the workshop was just a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge that most people usually don't give people of that stature, people of that level of achievement. And I just got fed spiritually and also just strategically on tools on how to be successful, but not just success, an empty success, but success with a purpose.